Hi, it's Harriet. I am choosing to do a video, and I may, if I have time, do a blog, but for now, consider this a vlog. I wanted to come and do a video about the Southwest policy change about peanuts. I have been in camp all day, so I couldn't really do and say everything I wanted to say and respond and really get the information out to people. So I'm doing that now. Last night I saw on Twitter and everyone started getting very excited, including Facebook, about Southwest making the decision as of August 1st no longer to serve peanuts. Well, of course, the peanut allergy community was celebrating and jumping up and down and thinking that this was such a great thing. My initial reaction was to question Southwest. What's their policy regarding other anaphylactic allergens? I think it's really important to note that through the course of the day, what I've seen is what's sad, and what many times I see is that fellow food allergic parents, and I'm gonna call it out, basically those who are only dealing with nut allergies, do not understand that any food allergy is just as dangerous to that person. The real enemy here is anaphylaxis, and the anaphylaxis can happen not just from peanuts. So that's one thing. It's really upsetting to think that people think that it can't happen from dairy when it can. There's 170 foods that do cause anaphylaxis, and in the United States we have top 8, with sesame being the 9th, the unofficial 9th. Any one of those foods can cause anaphylaxis, and if you want to talk to me about airborne inhalation, it has been proven that you can get asthma-like symptoms from steaming milk, from powdered cheese, from fish, from steaming fish, from roasting nuts, and from cooking eggs or, mayo. Flour from wheat can cause someone with a wheat allergy, not gluten intolerance, but with a real wheat allergy, can give them respiratory issues as well. So we need to establish that first, that no other allergens are, they're all equal. There's not this hierarchy. If the person is allergic and they are severely allergic, which they can be, the potential for anaphylaxis is always present. I don't like this Southwest policy, and I think it's a wrong direction. People are saying that this is the step in the right direction. It's not. All airlines seem to have a peanut-only policy. That does not work to protect other people with other types of serious life-threatening allergies. And I'm not only going to talk about food allergies, but as an asthma educator and as a severe asthmatic, I can tell you there's other things that people need also accommodations for. What a step in the right direction would have been a policy that was broad and protected every person who comes onto their flight. Unfortunately, this is being used to sell to one specific group of allergic consumers. And those consumers seem to be more vocal than the rest of the food allergy community. And what's really interesting, and I always wonder this, is that we have 15 million Americans in the United States that have food allergies. Of that, about 3.6 million have nut allergies. Now that includes peanuts and tree nuts. So really the percentage that have the peanut allergy is lumped into how many have a tree nut allergy. Now let me be very clear. In addition to dairy, my kid has a tree nut allergy, multiple tree nuts. And one of the things that I find hysterical is that places will eliminate peanuts. So airlines all have policies for peanuts, but they're going to give out cashews or almonds or some other kind of nut. And if you really thought about it and you thought about the real risk, you would realize that the risk that you are worrying about with a peanut is the same risk if the tree nut is given out. It's the same risk if Southwest is giving out those sour cream and onion potato chips, which, by the way, they are some kind of sun chip, which has powdered milk. If everyone on the airplane opens up those bags, in theory, the risk to the person with the airborne dairy allergy is the same. What's upsetting to me is that the allergy community is not rallying behind consistent, inclusive food allergy policies that would protect everyone with an allergy. Not just one. Not just one. We need consistent protocols for everyone. Everyone has the right to feel comfortable, not just someone with a peanut allergy. And that's what was really upsetting about Southwest. They're using words like, well, now people with allergies can feel comfortable in the cabin flying. No, they can't. I would still have to worry if there's a tree nut or powdered dairy being served, and someone with another allergen, like with a fish allergy, if they're serving a dish with fish potentially in it, they would have to worry about that. What we really need to be doing as a food allergy community is stop saying peanut policy, peanut policy, peanut policy, which is what we see in schools. Peanut policy, peanut policy, peanut policy. We need a policy that's broad, that's inclusive, and that's fair. This is not what is happening. And it's really sad because the support's not coming from within. The support is how dare you speak up against this and not see this as something to celebrate and it's a step. Anyone who tells me that this is a step has not been paying attention to the food allergy world for the last 15 years. We have made zero progress in terms of accommodating or fair accommodations or equal accommodations for someone with an allergy outside of nuts. And the line that it's a start is really old. What we should be arguing for is that every airline has auto injectors on board, that there are trained people able to give it if there's someone with anaphylaxis on board. That's the most important thing. Number two, we should have equal policy in terms of if I don't want to sit next to somebody who's eating powdered dairy or someone who's eating my allergen, then I should have the right to move my seat or have them move this person, or they create a buffer zone. But they should not only be making announcements about a peanut allergy. So if you're going to accommodate one, be ready to accommodate all. That's number two. Number three, anyone with an allergy, as I'm reading their policy, which basically says if you have any other allergens who are unable to accommodate you, should have the same accommodation. So there should be I walk up to the gate and say, I'm allergic to dairy, I'm anaphylactic to dairy, I'm anaphylactic to tree nuts, I'm anaphylactic to sesame, I'm anaphylactic to wheat. And they have a policy in place on how they're going to safeguard me. They don't have that. And 9 times out of 10, you actually have to hide the fact that you have these allergies because there might be a risk that they deem you as a risk to fly. But peanut dust, they have rules for peanut dust. So there is actually this setup, and I've used the term, this is discrimination against other allergens. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And it should not be loud voices cheering this and just talking about peanut allergy community. Please start picking up the voices for the multiple allergy community. Because we're out here. We're actually the bulk of the food allergy community in terms of not just having a nut allergy, but the majority of people with food allergies have other allergies, not nuts. And it's really also upsetting to see that within the food allergy community that highlighting this issue is met with an attack. I understand Southwest means well. I totally understand everyone means well. But because people fall for what's the word I want to say? They fall for a lot of drama. They fall for fear. They fall for louder voices. They felt they had to do this because we've seen it was in the press for a couple of weeks already about Southwest having nuts, and it was giving them bad press. But they're doing this. They're only catering to one group of people. And right now, if you have any other allergy, nobody's catering to you anyway, even JetBlue. So my hope from this is that this video could be a stepping stone for people to start a conversation and start educating that, hey, it's nice that your peanuts got removed, but I'm still at risk. Or, you know, all other allergens are still a problem, and we don't need just a specific peanut policy. We need an overall policy. And I think that that's where we need to start. I constantly feel that the other allergy community, we're constantly forced to speak up, and we're constantly forced to defend ourselves. We're constantly forced to say, hey, my allergy is just as bad. And it's really upsetting. There's nobody who has our back, which is why I started this hashtag today, what about us? What about us? Who is looking out for us? Who is looking out for the kid who cannot be near powdered cheese? My kids can't enter Starbucks for me to get a tea without them having a problem. Who is looking out for their protection? Who is looking out for the parents I have in my group whose kids have problems being near powdered dairy? What about the kid who's being near fish that's being cooked? Or, again, I'm going to say, what about the people with tree nut allergies, which are going to be on flights too? We need to have representation. We need to have a voice. So, please share this video. Please give a voice to those with other allergens whose policies do not protect us and they do keep us in mind. And with that, I will let you go. And I hope that this has been educational for many people. And I am happy to take any questions or comments and have a discussion and to say why you can't single out one particular allergen when you have all these others nowadays. One leaves everyone else out. Thanks.